What's Crack-A-Lackin? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into the episode of My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Sleaze. This is the last episode of the day. This is the tight end stardom sit-ems heading into week 8 here, guys. Remember, it is BYEMAGGEDON. Lions, Raiders, Rams, Cardinals, Seahawks, and Jaguars are all on a bye. Make sure those tight ends are out of your lineup. Now, if you guys want to check out quarterbacks, running back, wide receivers, detailed breakdowns, all of those are out before this video. Make sure you check those out if you haven't already, guys. In this video, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to break down receptions allowed, yards allowed, points allowed, touchdowns allowed to the tight end position to give you a breakdown of why I like these starts and why I like these sits this week. Before we dive into it, guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Helps me out a ton. Hit that subscription. Turn that bell on so you know when I'm live and you don't miss any content, guys. I'll be live Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, just like last week. I'm not out of town this weekend. So if you guys haven't already as well, shout out to the sponsor. Check out drafters.com. Make sure you sign up using promo code SLEEZ. It will double your initial deposit up to $100. We do best ball drafts, pick'ems, DFS drafts, and we drop all of our stuff that we do from there into our Discord, the Guys FF premium Discord that I host with Big Draft Energy. We cover everything 24/7 fantasy football for you guys on there as well. Now and if you guys have any questions as well, doesn't it pertain to this video? If you can't make the live shows this weekend, drop them in the comments down below. I try to answer every single one of them to help you guys out as well. Now let's take a look at the tight ends that you should be starting or you should be sitting in week 8. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my tight end board. Green must start tight ends, yellows possible flex plays if you need. Remember, it's BYEMAGGEDON, and remember, it is National Tight Ends Day or Tight Ends Week as well. And last week I think there was like 11 touchdowns. Last year I think there was like 11 touchdowns or something for tight ends. Oh, I know the Steelers had 4 last week. Speaking of last week. But that there always is something special that happens on this day with tight ends. So red is a sit. Obviously, away team at the top, down to the home team at the bottom. Sorry, guys. Last video, I am exhausted, but here we go. Starting off with Thursday Night Football, 3-3 Vikings heading into the 4-3 Chargers, over under 44.5. LA Chargers are favored by 3.5 in this game. Now, TJ Hawkinson has a sit last week. Arondé Gadsden has as a flex last week, and god damn, this man exploded onto the scene. So when you're looking at this matchup here, the Minnesota Vikings, and for some reason, last week, versus the Philadelphia Eagles, they were weak versus the tight end going into that game. Very, very strong. Number 1 versus the wide receiver, number 1 versus the quarterback, and they got beat all the way across the board and covered the tight end coming off a bye. So when you're looking at Arondé Gadsden's numbers, I mean, how can you sit this guy? He just had the 3rd best game in NFL history as a rookie for yards with 164. He had 3 catches of 20-plus yards. This is like the new Antonio Gates that is coming to life for the Los Angeles Chargers. And again, when I'm looking at the matchup, I'm going to say the same thing, even though Jalen Hurts shredded him. They've been good versus the wide receiver. They've been good versus the tight end. Carson Wentz is going to be out there on a short week. He's kind of banged up as well. So I like Gadsden as a start here. And when you look at the Chargers, look what Tyler Warren just did to them, right? So you're kind of thinking the same thing. I'm thinking the same thing here. I'm looking at, well, this is a good defense versus a tight end, but Tyler Warren just shredded him last week. Obviously, when you're facing Tyler Warren, I'm not saying that Arondé Gadsden's on his level, but they gave up 11.6. They ranked 7th versus the tight end, 39 receptions, 271 yards, but 4 touchdowns. That's tied for the most in the end. Well, second most. And when you look at the freaking Bengals, they give up 4 in one game. So the opportunity is going to be here. You saw Hawkinson get a bad call, man. If Travis Kelce had that same catch, that would have been a catch for Travis Kelce to the Chiefs. He had a touchdown taken away last week. So on a short week with BYEMAGGEDON going and National Tight Ends Week, I'm starting both these tight ends. Heading on down to the 1-6 Miami Dolphins, and the wheels are falling completely off to the 3-3 Falcons. 44.5 over under. Atlanta's favored by 7.5, and Darren Waller tears his pec last week right away at the beginning of the game. So if you started him, it absolutely killed your fantasy team. Now, am I going to throw Julian Hill on the board? Not yet. I think it's like Jalen Conyers, or I don't even know who the 3rd backup tight end is behind him. So if they emerge as a target guy, I'll bring them up next week. But in this matchup, this is brutal either way. The Atlanta Falcons are number 1 versus the tight end. Just held George Kittle to 0 points. They've given up 10 receptions on the season for 99 yards and 1 touchdown. I'm not starting him either way, so I'm not even going to bring him up. Falcons side, Kyle Pitts. Now, this one's interesting, right? So, Kyle Pitts has a beautiful matchup here. You got Miami. They struggle versus the tight end. They rank 22nd. They give up 14.6, 41 receptions, 450 yards. That's bottom 10 and not two touchdowns. I'm looking at it wrong. And 3 touchdowns. So, it's bottom 5 also in touchdowns allowed. But Miami also struggles so bad versus the run, and you have Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. How much are they really going to need to pass in this game? Does Tua make it through this game? This is very sketchy. And when I talked about this with Drake London as well, like I don't know how much passing volume they're going to need. So, yeah, I love the matchup. I like Kyle Pitts as a start. He just saw mad targets last game against the 49ers. Like I've been saying, the 49ers struggle across the middle. And with Fred Warner out, what do you expect, right? So, it's a tough one. Like we'll do it right now because I can't say start him fully because I just don't trust that the Dolphins are going to stay in the game. Their team is just absolute shambles. So I'm going to move Kyle Pitts down to a flex play if needed, and I love the matchup with him. Speaking of shambles, the 0-7 Jets wheels are freaking gone. There's just nothing driving this car. Are heading into the Bengals that are 3-4, led by Joe Flacco. Now, this should be Tyrod Taylor named as the starter here. Should be, quote unquote. That's what we're reading now. I haven't seen the update that Justin Fields is benched, but when your owner says you can't complete a pass, it looks like Tyrod Taylor's coming in. Now, if you watch last game, right, I liked Mason Taylor as a smash play against one of the best matchups against the Carolina Panthers, but it was Justin Fields at quarterback, and then Tyrod Taylor came in late in the game, and on I think it was one drive or 2 drives, he had 4 catches or 4 targets. This is what's going to happen here, especially if Garrett Wilson is out in this game, which I'm kind of predicting that he is. They said multiple week injury with the knee. Guys, the Cincinnati Bengals are dead last in the NFL versus tight end, and it's not even close. And the Pittsburgh Steelers just dropped 4 touchdowns in one game on them versus tight end. All 4 tight ends. So they give up 22.2. That's dead last. 71 receptions. Next closest behind them is 63 with the Green Bay Packers. 536 yards and 9 freaking touchdowns. Second behind them is the New York Jets with 6. So when you're looking at this matchup here, Noah Fant, I'm just afraid of it, right? I had Noah Fant as a flex play last week. I like the matchup versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to throw him as a flex play again if you need this week because Gesicki's on IR. But Tanner Hudson could be back in this game as well with concussion. So that could, double out. Now I'm going to stick to my gut here. Nope. Even though the matchup's great. So Mason Taylor's got to be a smash start this week. But Noah Fant with Tanner Hudson back off the concussion, I'm going to say that it's going to be split shares out there, and it's not Noah Fant by himself like it was last week. And I liked it for a touchdown last week, which was a crazy call. So when you're looking at the Jets, they do rank 24th. They've given up, 14.7, 37 receptions, 291 yards, and the second most was 6 touchdowns. But I don't know if they stay in this game, man. Joe Flacco's got them rolling. I don't see them needing to use the tight ends that much in Cincy this week. So I'm saying sit Noah Fant this week. The 2-5 Cleveland Browns, big win versus Miami for them, are headed into the New England Patriots 5-2, and they are on fire, led by the new superstar Drake May. And goddamn, it's scary to say, man, but they may have their next Tom Brady on their hands, and I can't stand that as a 49er fan, and my whole family's Patriot fans. Yeah. But the matchup here, both these teams are good versus the tight end, but the Patriots are a little worse. So when we're talking about the Browns, and we're hoping David Njoku is back in this game. And what have we learned with Dylan Gabriel at quarterback? We learned that 2 weeks ago, he could throw 52 attempts and 9 of them to wide receivers. He does not like throwing to his wide receivers. He doesn't like Jerry Jeudy. He doesn't like Tillman. He doesn't like Tillman. He hasn't had out there IR. He doesn't like Bond. He doesn't like Jamari Thrash. It hasn't been good. So these are the focal points of the Browns offense, and they line up Fannin in the slot more than almost goddamn wide receivers that play. He goes Z-back, outline, inline, slot, wide receiver. They line him up everywhere, and that's the security blanket he uses. So when you're looking at the Patriots, yeah, their defense has been good, but yeah, they are 20th versus the tight end, giving up 14 points, 38 receptions, 435 yards, which is bottom 5 in the NFL, 2 touchdowns. So none of it's pretty, but I got to say start them both because I don't see Chris Gonzalez going to lock up Jeudy. He's cooked. Their run defense has been absolutely phenomenal. Judkins is in trouble. Their offense has been powerful. Cleveland's probably playing heavy from behind. So these guys are probably going to get 10 targets a pop in this game, and I like them both as starts. On to the Hunter Henry side, he is more of a low-end flex play for me this week. Cleveland is number 13 versus the tight end line, 12.8, 48 receptions, 327 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So all lower than average right there for them. Except for the touchdowns, I'd say that's higher than average. But with this game script here, do we think that the Cleveland Browns are going to keep up with the New England Patriots by any means, right? Judkins not going to be able to run over like everybody runs over Miami. That's not going to happen. I mean, Kamani Vidal ran over Miami, and he did absolutely nothing last week. He's going to do nothing again this week on Thursday night. But I don't think Hunter Henry's that needed. So, I mean, this is like desperation. I know it's BYEMAGGEDON. If you need to start him, I'm okay with it. Like, I'd way rather start a Mason Taylor if he's on your waiver wire over Hunter Henry. This one's spicy. This is the mind being a weapon call here in this game. So you got the 2-5 New York Giants heading into the 5-2 Philadelphia Eagles. 44.5 over under. Philly is favored by 7.5, and yet the Giants won this game last time at MetLife Stadium. Interesting little tad bit there, right? And what, just as the Eagles had a one good offensive game, all of a sudden they're putting them this high. I'm taking the Giants and the points in this game. But what we need to talk about here, and this is one of my bold calls. So I'm going Theo Johnson as a sit, and I'm going Dallas Goedert as a sit. Now, Theo Johnson, I know he got the deflection catch last week and took it to the house, saved his fantasy day. If you started him, that was bold on your part. Congratulations. Now, Dallas Goedert. And I didn't want to talk about Theo Johnson versus the Eagles. The Eagles are so good versus tight end. This is what they do all year long. I think they've given up one touchdown to Laporta, and it was over triple coverage, and he barely got his feet down. Okay, so why I don't like Dallas Goedert this week, and it's not based on the matchup, because the New York Giants versus the tight end give up 12.7. They're number 12, so right below average, right? Or middle of the pack. 41 receptions, 358 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now, Dallas Goedert, what kept the Eagles in the game versus the Giants last time they played? It was Dallas Goedert. This man had freaking 30 fantasy points versus the New York Giants last week. You don't think they remember that? They are going to be locking this down. This is why I'm staying away from Dallas Goedert in this game, purely based on because he shit on him last time. 11 targets, 9 receptions, 110 yards, and a touchdown. What? The Giants know this. They remember this. Even though they won the game, they're still going to be focalized on Dallas Goedert in this game. And the Giants' corners have really been struggling lately, and I think it's more of an A.J. Brown game here. 4-2 Bills coming off the bye are heading into the 4-3 Carolina Panthers over under 45.5. Buffalo is favored by 7.5 on the road. Now, Dalton Kincaid was injured before the bye, so it looks like he's going to be back this week. Now, I mean, what do you got to like about this matchup besides this is the Carolina Panthers' only weak spot in their defense? They've been good versus the run, versus the quarterback, versus the wide receiver, versus the tight end is where they get beat. They give up 16 points a game, ranking 27th. They've given up 40 receptions for 475 yards. That's second worst in the NFL behind the Indianapolis Colts. They've also given up 4 touchdowns, which is tied for third worst as well. Now, why is that happening? Because J.C. Horn has been such a good lockdown corner, which is why I don't like Keon Coleman. This is why I like Shakir and Kincaid, because the middle of the defense is where the Panthers get beat. Now, on to the Panthers side. I don't know what's going on here, man. I like Ja'Tavion Sanders as a rookie coming out of Texas. Obviously, he got hurt right away. You see Tommy Tremble. They're still kind of mixing him in off injury. I don't know if he's still hurt, but there's no way I'm playing this guy. Even if the Bills' defense is the worst, which they're the second best, this is a tough match. They give up 5.5 points. 14 receptions allowed, 131 yards, and 1 touchdown. Not good situation. I wouldn't care if it was even surplus right now for the Panthers. And, say they were ranked dead last. It just hasn't been clicking with Ja'Tavion Sanders. Maybe Andy Dalton changes that, but I'm definitely not trusting it this week. A 4-game win streak, 4-2 Chicago Bears, Ben Johnson-led offense is heading into Baltimore, Maryland, M&T Bank Stadium, and it's 49.5 over under. The Ravens are 1-5. The Bears are on a 4-game win streak. The Ravens are 1-5, and the Ravens are favored by 6.5 in this game. The Lamar Jackson effect being back. You can already tell that he's going to play despite that spread. So, when we're looking at this game here, and this is the first time, and this is one of my bold calls here, and this is how you know we're doing it live through the whole thing, because I would have had this set up preset. So it looks like Cole Kmet is going to miss this game. And this is where I like Colson Loveland for his first NFL touchdown and a big game for him, because the Baltimore Ravens cannot stop the tide, and they rank 25th, giving up 15.2 points, 39 receptions, 402 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, I know it's still a nightmare. You're still going to have Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, Luther Burden, and they struggle versus the wide receiver too. The Ravens are coming off a bye. This is just a bold call of mine. I just gut feeling that Colston Loveland scores his first touchdown this week with Cole Kmet out. I can't really back it up besides the Ravens are weak versus the tight end. I can't back up the target share that the Bears have split out between everybody. DeAndre Swift even gets involved in the pass game, as you saw last week. So the volume's not going to be there. I just like Colston Loveland for a national tight end touchdown day. Lock it in. It's one of my picks of the week, one of my calls. Now, Ravens side, Mark Andrews is going to get the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears are just as bad as the Ravens, and you know when Lamar Jackson comes back, he's going to feed this guy Mark Andrews here. I know Isaiah Likely might be more involved, especially off the bye, with that foot injury he had to start the season off. But Chicago, they give up 14.6, 42 receptions, 341 yards, 2 touchdowns. About the same as the Ravens. About the same as the Bears or Ravens. Both these defenses struggle versus tight end. So this is just one of those games. This is my gut feeling call here that you get a double tight end score from Colston Loveland and Mark Andrews in this game. And you've kind of got to start them if you have them because it's not National Tight End Day. It's Jesus. I'm all over the place because it's BYEMAGGEDON with so many buys. My 5-2 49ers are here for an all systems green game. The Houston Texans at 2-4. We're heading into their house. And this is I like both these tight ends this week. The over-under is 41.5. Houston is favored by 1.5. And I know if you had George Kittle, just like I did, and you started and you got a 0, and you saw him apologize. But there's a crazy stat that one of my buddy George sent me on a tweet that every game that George Kittle has had 1 or less reception in, the next game he averages 16.5 points. So get ready for the Kittle diddle down the middle. And you're looking at the matchup versus the Houston Texans. It's not pretty. They are number 4 versus the tight end, or number 5 versus the tight end, giving up 8.6, 27 receptions, 224 yards, and 1 touchdown. But still, there's no way I'm benching George Kittle, let's be honest. Now, Dalton Schultz, I had him as a start last week. Pull up the video. This is another great spot. The Seattle Seahawks were weak versus the tight end last night. Obviously, Nico Collins going down led to more volume for him, which we could have Nico Collins down in this game as well. He got a concussion on Monday night. I know that Marvin Harrison Jr. cleared on a Sunday, making it throughout the week, but this is Monday. So I think Marvin was cleared on Saturday. So it's like the day before. So it's kind of risky. 2-4, the Texans need everything they can to win this game. So I do think Nico will be out there. But where we get beat is across the middle. Without Fred Warner out there, we just lost Huff. We've lost Bosa. We've lost Stout. Our whole defense is beat to shit. And somehow Robert Saleh is coaching a gym. It's absolutely bonkers. When you look at the 49ers versus tight end, we rank 14th, giving up 13 points, 39 receptions, 340 yards, 3 touchdowns. I like Dalton Schultz for a 10-plus point game here because, even if Nico Collins is out there or isn't, we just have been really, really bad across the middle. If you watch the last 3 games, you'll just watch us get shredded. And I kind of called that with Drake London. Look at Kyle Pitts, what he did to us last week, right? And I told you, Drake London's in for a tough matchup with DeAndre. He's a solid lockdown corner. So even if Nico's out there, you're going to get Lenore or DeAndre. He's going to be lights out versus him. So this is going to be another solid start for probably 8 to 10 targets again for Dalton Schultz this week. The 5-2 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, after that waxing by the Detroit Lions, get their get-right game to come back against the New Orleans Saints that are 1-6 at the Superdome. So in this game, you've got the over-under at 47.5, which is very high in my opinion, but the Bucs, I think, are going to bounce back and score a ton of points, so I can see it being close to that. Tampa Bay is favored by 4.5 in this game. Now, with Cade Otton, I had him as a start last week. We're going to have him as a start again because, God, prayers up to Mike Evans, man. He popped his collarbone on that deep ball, and it looks like 6 to 8 weeks, maybe playoff time return for him. Now, another injury to worry about is you have Chris Godwin. And Chris Godwin was close to playing or going to be close to playing, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers also have a bye next week, and they have Bucky Irving, who's close to playing, and we don't know yet either with him. So do they just hold everyone out for the bye? Possibility, because they're 5-2, they could do that. Could they still hold off the Saints and win? I think so. So Cade Otton, you have to love this week, regardless if, say, the Saints were number 1 versus the tight end, which they are not. They are number 19, giving up 13.7, 36 receptions, 355 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So there's a very high chance opportunity that Cade Otton can score here, about 60-75% that he can find the end zone here. Now, when I'm looking at Juwan Johnson, here we are back to this again. He has another wake-up game last week. A lot of targets, just like the beginning of the season. Do I still trust it? No. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints are dead even at number 18 and 19 versus the tight end. So, yeah, people are like, Taysom Hill, do I throw him in there? I'm never trusting Taysom Hill, man. That's a bigger wild card than Jameson Smith or Jameson Williams, and he just got a 0. That's how much I trust Taysom Hill. So no on that front, but K. Dotton, absolutely, I love as a start in this game. Oh man, here it is. This is got to be like the sleaze game right here, man. The 3-3-1 Cowboys are heading in to face the 5-2 Denver Broncos that have pulled 2 fourth-quarter miracles out of their ass, 33 points, and Bo Nix has 60 fantasy points in just 2 fourth quarters combined, which is out of this world. Now, if you guys have been part of the channel since the beginning or watched the shows in the offseason, my dark horse tight end one was Evan Ingram, and my best value in the draft you could get for a tight end was Jake Ferguson. So these are the 2 guys that I targeted in best ball the entire time. Plus Tyler Warren as well at his value. And people are like, oh my God, you got Dak, you got CD, you got Pickens. It's going to eat into Ferguson. Ferguson is a tight end 1. He can get 12 targets with them out there. Dak loves his tight end. I'm not even going to read the rankings because you have the highest scoring game of the week. I'll just tell you that Denver is number 8 versus the tight end. I don't care. They have to cover CD Lamb. They have to cover Pickens. Nope. Everything's going to be open across the middle. That's why Ferguson had 2 touchdowns last week. It's a tough matchup. Now, when you're looking at Evan Ingram's side, the Cowboys, they're number 16 versus the tight end. But what have we noticed here? So Evan Ingram, the Joker role, is not even really tight end play in a Sean Payton offense, right? They line this guy Z back. They line him up. Dude, he was at the running back last week in the game, right? Which is crazy for a 31-year-old tight end. Now, what you have to look at, and this is the best part, this is why I loved it before the season. Like, he was playing 90% snaps last year. He's only playing 40 this year because the injury at the beginning of the year with the calf. And then the back was sore, and then he missed week 3, right? So now, week 7, he played 56% of the snaps. That's most of the season. So are we going to get that little Evan Ingram second half push that we're looking for? Because, dude, he's targets galore in limited work. 7, 6, 6, and 8 over the past 4 games with 40 to 50% snap share. Imagine a full game. We're talking about a tight end seeing 10 to 12 targets a game with Bo Nix. This is what I wanted all year, and I'm hoping this is the game where we get to see it start both of these tight ends this week. The 1-6 Titans are headed in to face the 6-1 Colts, and it's getting tough to talk about the Titans anymore. And Vegas will tell you right here why. 47.5 over under in the game. Colts are favored by 14.5. Now the matchup, Chigga Gunnar Helm, do I throw him on there? It's a great matchup versus the Colts. They're 4th worst versus the tight end, giving up 16.3, 44 receptions, 503 yards, which is the worst in the NFL, and 3 touchdowns. Still, I'm not telling you to start either one of them. I don't care. The Titans' offense has been absolutely terrible. Yes, since firing Callahan, maybe, Cam Ward had his best game last week. The only way they get this done is garbage time completely. I mean, I think the Colts just mopped the floor with them, 30-plus points. And I don't like Chigga or Gunnar Helm. If you want to take, maybe a DFS dart throw for cheap with them, the matchup's great, but I don't trust it at all. Dun, 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 dun. Tyler Warren. Guys, in shows for the last 3 weeks and comments, even in the comments, I don't want to hear it anymore. Tyler Warren is a superstar. No longer a question about start this guy. I don't care if he's going up against the fucking 98 Pro Bowl or the whatever, steel curtain defense. This guy is a must-start tight end weekly. There's no point to even read the stats. I don't care about the game he's played. I don't care about anything. And where are all those Colston Loveland haters that were telling me that he's going to be better than Tyler Warren before the season started? Come on down. Let's talk it up. All systems green game for me here. Sunday Night Football. The Aaron Rodgers revenge game. Man, I wish this was at Lambeau still. I've said that in 3 videos, but God, I wish this was in Lambeau. It's so much sicker. But the Packers are headed into the Steel City here. Now, this is an all systems green game for me. Both these teams struggle mightily against the tight end position. Now, when we're looking at Tucker Kraft, I don't even think this guy even needs to be a question anymore. You start this guy every single time, regardless, okay? So now we got to look at the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the tight end, and look at this, okay? So the Cincinnati Bengals are the worst. The second and the third worst teams in the NFL versus the tight end, Green Bay Packers are the second worst. Pittsburgh Steelers are the third worst, okay? So the Pittsburgh Steelers rank 31st. They give up 20. 50 receptions to the tight end position from the Green Bay Packers. That is worst in the NFL. 375 yards and 5 touchdowns. That's second worst, okay? Pittsburgh Steelers. They've given up 36 receptions, 403 yards, so more yards, and 4 touchdowns as well. So, and they also give up a rushing touchdown to the tight end. I think it was Tyler Warren that ran it. I don't remember. So, in this game, and you got National Tight Ends Day, you got the Aaron Rodgers revenge game. Tight ends are going to score in this game as well. I like Jonnu Smith as the start. I like Tucker Kraft as the start. The over-under is 44.5. I like that to be over. I think that's too low. Green Bay Packers favored by 3.5. I think the points are going to fly in this game. And if you get Christian Watson back, it's going to be even more of like a nightmare to stop the wide receiver or Packers offense. And Tucker Kraft is going to absolutely feast. And I like Jonnu Smith as a start. And Pat Freiermuth as a low flex play again because you saw him break out a little bit. And Arthur Smith always runs double, triple tight end. You might even see Darnell Washington there, but I'm not saying to start him. Last but not least, Monday Night Football. And this game script is kind of scary to me. So we got the Washington Commanders 3-4 headed into the 4-3 Chiefs, and they are unbelievably red hot. And I don't even know if the Chiefs lose again, man. Patrick Mahomes, they look so damn good with Rashee Rice back. 47.5 over-under in this game. And I don't like Zach Ertz in this game. And I pulled up the wrong one here. I got to pull up the Chiefs here. And I don't like Zach Ertz basically because JD5 is his guy, right? And you saw, even with Marcus Mariota came in for the little stint in the second half last week, he just doesn't get the volume. And the passing game, even with Chris Moore and Jalen Lane and let's say Debo and all them are out there. Dude, you got Spagnuolo. This guy is a defensive coordinator mastermind. He's number 3 versus the tight end, giving up 7 points, only 25 receptions, 232 yards, and 1 touchdown through 6 games. So you're looking at about a 15% chance of scoring. Now, if the Chiefs get up by 30 points, will they still have Zach Ertz, 33-year-old tight end, still out there? Will they have Benson not playing in garbage time? How will it go if he doesn't score early? I just don't like him in this game. I'm staying away from Zach Ertz in this game. And on the Travis Kelce side, this is another scary type situation. Like, we kind of can tell by the spread. 10.5 spread for KC, 47.5. Kind of tells you right there that JD5, the Debo, the Terry McLaurin may not be out there. They might hold him out for one more game to try and get them all healthy and get back. Now, if Travis Kelce doesn't score early, dude, Rashee Rice was just a monster glued to the fucking, dude, just glued to Mahomes. You saw their little me and you. Like, dude, he'd have had 20 targets if they didn't blow him out. So this is what we could be looking at again is another blowout here. And you probably got the third fiddle here now with Travis Kelce. And it's just, low-end flex play if you need. It is National Tight End Day. Maybe Patrick Mahomes tries to get him a touchdown for the day. I could see that happening for sure just because their camaraderie and they've been together so long. But outside of that, it's more of a, I'd say mid-tier flex play for me because I just don't see it being a game where they need to pass a lot in this game. Thanks for rocking with me today. That is the end of the episode. That is the end of the episodes for today as well, too. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, all the stardom sit-ems. I got them all out for you guys today. My goal tomorrow is kickers and defenses, then quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. We'll see how it goes. But I like to get all those out to you before every single Thursday. That is a goal of mine. Before we head out, guys, again, if you have any questions, comments, drop them down below. Make sure you've tapped that thumbs up, hit that subscription button, turn that bell on. I can't thank you guys enough for all the support. One of the best communities out there. It's absolutely amazing. And one more thing, drafters.com and the guys FF, they're pinned in the top of the comment and in the description of the video. If you want to talk fantasy football 24/7 off stream, that is the place to be, guys. I think we just hit like 150 members, so we're growing there as well. And that's it for me today, man. I hope you guys have a good night. I hope you guys enjoyed today's content. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know exactly what time, depends on the day and how it's going, but I'm going to get all those rankings out to you guys tomorrow. I am gassed. That's it for me today, man. Sleazebomb out. Peace. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.